30-day Furry Art Challenge, Part 3 Hand-Drawn Digital Animation. This is the third part of a furry tutorial series that I've been on or I have been doing. Welcome to the new ones who will watch this vid. You can head straight here if you already know how to draw furries in traditional or in digital art. If you have yet to explore that, please do see my first two vids on it. This is an animation tutorial for hand-drawn animation from start to finish. First up, we have the rough animation. So what you want to do here is sort of like make a storyboard or rough sketches of what you want to animate. It can be like only 1 to 2 frames first or something like that, just to plan out your animation or your concept. For this one, I only planned out 2 positions, and I've also noted the animation chart or animation timing or the timing chart, something like that. Yeah. So in this chart, planned out keyframes, which is 1, 3, and 5. 2 and 4 are IBs or in betweens. So yeah, as you can see, she is just 2 frames. She just moves in 2 frames. Or the second step is to separate whatever moves part by part so you can animate it meticulously, and you can erase your mistakes easily if they are separated each by layer. It's a little messy right now, but it'll come to fruition once we're done with it. Yeah, as usual, you can follow along if you want. But if you just want to see the whole vid, go ahead. So for now, she moves in 5 frames. I think I made it like 8 seconds to just see how the motion goes, or how the motion is going. And if there's anything that I'd like to smooth out, especially the in-betweens, obviously. So that's, again, that's the keyframes, 1, 3, and 5. And the IBs 2 and 4, so that's 5 frames all in all. Actually, those are the only frames I planned out because the movement is just so simple. She's just going back and forth with her sketch pad. Yeah, so she's moving, but the timing still isn't right. Of course, I have to adjust that as well. Okay, so this is where it gets smoother by adding additional in between frames. So from the previous step, we have 5 frames, right? I just copied and pasted the first 4 frames in reverse. So that's 4, 3, 2, 1 after the 5th frame so that it loops. So in total, I have like 9 frames, only 9 frames for this. And they move at 30 frames per second. And it's, yeah, no, just 30 frames per second for its frame duration or something like that. Yeah, it's just just keep in mind that it's 30 frames per second on how I did this. And as you can see, she moves more smoother now, and with also a mouth motion. So she's supposed to be saying "I see," even though she has a blindfold. It's a, what was it? It was my take on blind drawing. So that's how I came up with this whole animation concept of her having a blindfold and just holding the sketch pad and her pencil. So the animation has been finalized and has been detailed as well. So what you want to do next is to clean up the lines. Of course, it looks messy from the previous step, so you have to clean it out. I did this frame by frame actually, but of course with the set to copy the first 4 frames again and again. So just a matter of copy and pasting after cleaning up the first 5 frames. Actually, I think I could have smoothed out the knot part of the blindfold, but I guess I'll do it in another animation. It's up to you if you still want to put up the timing chart. For me, it's just a way to keep track of where I am. But other than that, you can erase it if you want to. It's just a guide. The animation studio where I worked previously, we had this department called Digital Ink and Paint. That's where they do the colors. I wasn't actually part of that department. I was only part of the cleanup and in between character animation and cleanup and in between FX animation departments. I think I get what they do here. That is, they apply the colors to the animation, which is what we're going to do next. So yeah, since I already had the colors planned out from my previous drawing, so far I just, what was it, ink dropper thing tool, yeah. I just used that and applied the basic colors for this next step. Although the carrot hairpin of hers, I actually made a customized brush. I'll also be linking that in the community post for anyone who wants it. Of course, it only works on Ibis Paint. Not sure if it works on other mobile or tablet animation apps. Yeah, so for those who use Ibis Paint, you can use that. It's a free brush. And I think it made like 4 different versions of it. So yeah, and there was no carrot brush in Ibis Paint, so I wanted to make one especially for her. So I wouldn't keep drawing her hairpin over again and again. I just use the brush and then bam, instant drawing. At this point, your animation looks kind of defined now, but with the base colors, it still kind of looks plain. And the next step is CUIBFX 1. I called it one. I call it part 1 since I only applied I think effects to the hair and the clothes. I'm not even sure if I did apply the effects. It's kind of hard to see in Canva where I'm editing this. But yeah, I applied effects. You can see it in the hair, sort of. It's at 5% transparency, to be honest, so that it doesn't make the character design super loud or, super bold, something like that. It's a dot gradation that I used as an effect. So it really is just simple effects at this point. That it's a simple effect, but it moves with no, it doesn't move with the character. It kind of somehow moves like the effects in Chowder, if you guys are familiar with that. Yeah, they have their animation is kind of unique in that effects are layered in a way that when the characters move, the effects kind of just stay in place. If that makes sense. I mean, just look at maybe you can look up chowder clips on YouTube if there still are, or in some other website or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's a really unique show and one of my childhood faves actually. And that's how I came to use these kinds of effects for the hair and the clothes. Oh, and I added color as well to the her text, her IC text. Also added a little light bulb emoji as well, because she had an idea. And we are almost done. So for this last part, I added the shadow and the highlight. Since my character is facing to the right, again, I had the highlights. I had the highlights on the right. No, left. Her left. No, no, yeah, I had her highlights on the right and the shadows on the left. Yeah, so I made it two-tone so that it wouldn't look boring. It's basically just red and blue highlight and shadow, respectively. Since she moves, I had to animate the highlights and the shadows as well. That's what we did in CUIBFX. That's what we did in the CUIBFX department where I was from. And it helped me a lot in animating this character. So that was valuable work experience as well. With animation, might want to aim for consistency, especially if your lines are uniformed like this. You might want to work with consistency, but I think it's more easier if the lines have texture or something like yeah. If you use like textured brushes, yeah, I think it's easier to animate because you don't need to worry about keeping the lines consistent every time. I think that's also what they did in Green Eggs and Ham. And even though the lines are different, or they're kind of squiggly, it's still kind of work, kind of like line boil animation, sort of like that, yeah. And with that, we are done for this part of the animation segment in my tutorial video. Thank you for watching.